Junior. I've never heard that before.
Well, Friday Junior is Thursday. It's the pre-Friday is what we call that. So get ready for the weekend is what's going on, okay? That's what we got going on, DK. It's Friday Junior, man. We're here for a good time.
I guess so. We got a whole lot of input already. People come in early before the show and they get really engaged in a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the fun here because the show actually goes up, gets posted, so to speak, about 15, 20 minutes beforehand.
Yeah.
And then at this point, they start trying to figure out who's responsible for us being a couple minutes late.
Oh, do we put blame on anybody, DK? Is that what we're gonna do?
Nah, man, it's a team effort.
Yeah. I got something that's super interesting, man. Is very interesting. If you want to start the show, we can go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
DK.
let's do that. Let's start the show.
Yeah,
All
we'll
I'm
just
seeing
call
here is a whole bunch of mocking.
Yeah, they're mocking you, man. And I'm gonna be real with you. I had this canister. It was red, and it was full of gas.
Uh-oh.
I kind of threw some gas on the flames, DK, in case you was wondering. Yeah, I sent them after you.
Oh, no.
They were ready to rage, man. They did. They were in here. I got us, though. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, that was...
No one is going to accept that as being any kind of bell. That was so bad.
That's what I get for jumping out in front of everything. Oh,
your future bell.
My future bell. And I talked about that earlier, too. I'm coming to get that bell, DK. Wow, Teresa. That's actually pretty crazy, DK. You know what? Better late than never, right? Better late than never, man.
I guess.
It is, man. Yeah, I sent them after you, though.
Yeah, now I got them going after you here over your terrible bell ring.
It was worst ding ever. Weak bell. You know what? I can do another one.
There
That's
you go. Very
better,
nice.
right
We're not
there.
doing a song again, though. There's 10 days between right now and when the Steelers kick off against the 49ers. Some of the vibes seem to be changing regarding the prognostications, I think, for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I haven't seen how that's affected the betting line because honestly, those are the ones that kind of matter the most because they're putting their money on it.
Yeah.
It's when anybody can say, I predict this. Okay, where's your money?
Yeah, let's talk about that for a little bit, right? Yeah, let's talk about that for a little bit, DK. And speaking of just putting money where your mouth is too a little bit when we're talking about these projections and how this team is going to look, I saw something, man, on social media at first. It was very interesting. I get most Steeler news that have come by, present, future guys, past guys that we've had. And this was actually from the Rams GM. Did you see that quote from him?
No.
Talking about Kevin Dotson. One man's trash is another man's treasure. You want to know how they got, what was it, a 5th round pick out of him, DK? Or
they really value him. That's how.
Said they tried to get him all preseason. They tried to get Kevin Dotson all preseason. Imagine that, DK.
And that means Omar played him too, because Omar's holding on. He's saying they're saying 6th round, and Omar says 5th, or you're not getting them.
Yes, DK. They tried to get them all preseason long. It was actually on their website too. After I ended up clicking through, I had to make sure it wasn't spam of anything like that. But he comes out and said, yes, we tried to get him most of this preseason. This says a lot about what other teams value, guys that you're just ready to toss to the wolves a little bit, DK.
Well, hang on. You're the 11-year left guard. Couldn't it just be that he's a better fit for what they want to do as an offense?
They could. They want to protect their guy. They want to be able to protect their quarterback and run the ball. So you got to think the years that they were good, they had one.
I mean specifically though, like there might be something where where Dotson doesn't fit in Pittsburgh, but he does in Los Angeles. Do you follow me?
Yes, I agree with that. What that is, because I don't know the ups and downs of the Rams offense, I can't say, but I do know they have an aging quarterback. They want to protect DK. I will say this too. I know that sometimes scheme is a lot better suited for guys in different offenses, and maybe that's the case for Kevin Dotson.
Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. Levi comes in with a $4.20 contribution in honor of his own 42nd birthday. Happy
That's
birthday,
awesome.
Levi. I hope Dotson does well. I like seeing over these last, oh boy, I want to
What?
say these last 3 weeks. I really like a lot of the positive vibes that are around the team in general. Everything they do seems to be well received, both by the fan base and by people on the outside, so to
Yeah.
speak. And all of a sudden you're starting to see these. Your pick to click. Your number one breakout player is Kenny Pickett. Your number one whatever else, and it seems that there's like more attention. Again, not that stuff matters, but it contributes to the positive vibe of the existing fan base because they think it matters, and that in turn translates. Do you follow? It's just a good vibe.
Public perception, DK, matters a lot, okay? I've seen guys get by because of stuff like that, man. And you're absolutely right. Sometimes us being too close to the scene is actually worse off for us. Like, you have to take a step back sometimes and evaluate and view. And that's why I also said when it comes down to this being everything that the Steelers did in this preseason, just put that in a plastic bag and just hopefully it gets ripe like some peaches or something, okay? To where it turns into something down the line. That's what I'm worried about now. This team has shown that it can compete. It should compete, and it has enough talent to also, DK. And now some of the voices are saying certain things. I've seen still some guys saying the Steelers just finished fourth in the AFC North. I've seen where some are saying, hey, Kenny Pickett is going to be nice. One thing I do respect is this, though. Seeing football players, people that evaluate tape and film, DK, they give credit. When those dudes talk, I tend to listen to them a little bit more when it comes down to the way they evaluate guys, man. And I've seen some players come out and say, this team could be real. They're not saying they're going to be real. They could be real, DK, and I like that.
Yeah, it's never a comfortable feeling picking a team that was 9-8, didn't make the playoffs to blow up. To become the next significant thing. And it's doubly true, I think, in a division like the AFC North, where it takes a whole lot of scrapping and clawing and everything else, regardless of how good you are.
Yeah, it is. And this is the AFC North is almost like the casino in a sense, right? Like, you go in and you might win, but you can never predict what kind of day you're going to have. Like, you've seen us lose some games to Cleveland we weren't supposed to lose, right, DK?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen Baltimore come into Pittsburgh. Come on, man. You saw a tie.
I'm on a screen with somebody who was part of that tie.
I still don't know how to feel about that.
You had no answer for me that day. Sitting in that corner in Cleveland, and I come back and you just go.
I had no idea. But that is very unique, though, DK, when it comes down to these experts, analysts, commentators that talk about who's going to win the AFC North. Like, I don't know what it's going to look like. Are we one of the stronger teams? I'd like to think so. Could we finish last in the AFC North too? Yeah, we could. Is Cincinnati that legit? They're more stable. I'll say that, right, DK, and that they've shown as of late. They are as stable as I've seen Cincinnati to be. I see Luke Vanderpok come in and say the Browns will always be the Browns. You say that, but they will play the teams in the North really, really tight. They always do, DK. I don't count them out until we beat them or until they tell me on the field, hey, man, I'm just trying to make it to South Beach. I don't want to get hurt this evening.
I'll tell you what, guys, I'm seeing a whole lot of really good questions come in, and I'm giving them these little stars that puts them into the list.
Yeah.
Of what happens, here along the show. And I just want to get to the main stuff. Let's just do that.
Let's do that, DK. I'm game.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do the only segment that matters.
And that's Hey Moan.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Welcome back to the Ramon Foster Show. And this program is always brought to you by our good friends at the Get-Go Cafe and Market, where quality is at the core of every menu item. They have 3 expert chefs fine-tuning every detail so that every sub, burger, salad, wrap, drink, and app is crafted for what they call craveability. Order your favorite entry at the Get-Go Cafe and Market today. Better believe it. Let's get started with the only segment that matters. Some pretty good stuff today here. We're going to start with John, who says, hey, Mo, did anybody actually call you Big Ragu, or was that just a Craig Wolfley thing?
Craig and Tunch did. They did in conversation. They did all the time. When they see me, it was more big fella, stuff like that, or 7'3". Not necessarily. I was always Moan to almost everybody. Even Coach T was just Moan, man. Nah.
That's all I heard. Yeah. I didn't hear any Big Ragu in the locker room here. It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue either.
It doesn't. Most fans or people who was trying to interview me would call me the Big Ragu because they look up my Wikipedia and stuff like that, but never in person. But if I'm in the stadium, they would say some stuff like that always.
Tim King says, hey, Moan, will Joey Porter Jr. start against the 49ers?
I'm going to go no.
You got Pat Pete over there.
I got Pat P over there. I'm going to go no. Again, we had this conversation yesterday. I think we were slow to go when it comes down to jumping out there with offensive linemen and corners. That's my contingency. I'm okay with him playing. Man, if he plays 20 snaps on defense, DK, or if the offensive sets asks for him to be out there, he would be out there nickel or something like that. 20 reps would do it for me, DK, more than anything. 20 to 25.
James says, hey, Moan, what do you think will be the priority in winning the 49ers games? At field position or winning the turnover battle?
I'm not worried about the turnover until they become a problem. So let's X that one out. It's field position. DK mentioned it the other day. I might have been last week when we were just talking about them. They got some weapons. Defending every blade of grass, as Coach Tomlin like to say, is going to be crucial against this team. I'm not going to downplay Brock Purdy. You hear me, guys? Not even a little bit, simply because he efficiently runs their offense.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
And
you might meet with some resistance on that over the next 9 days, but okay.
That's where I'm at right now. He efficiently runs that offense, but you got to look at Debo. You got to look at Christian McCaffrey.
Yes,
the wide receiver core. The left tackle is one of the best in the world, and when you have a guy like that, getting to the quarterback is going to be crucial, which is why I'm glad we got guys, 4 rushers that can try to get after him, DK. They got some deficiency, if I'm not mistaken, at the other spots in the O-line, but their offense reminds me of a college-style offense. It's quick handoff, option, throw the ball types of things that they're usually doing. Defending the grass is going to be huge against this team.
So you'd say that it's a Saturday-ish offense.
Yeah. An efficient Saturday-esque off. I thought we were past that thing, DK. I thought we were past the Matt Canada drops out here, dog.
This guy is responsible purely for this offense. Looks kind of like Butthead, doesn't he?
He does look like
kind of a butt.
He kind of looks like him a little bit, man. Golly, or some random cartoon character, which I guess it is.
He said. Trucker James says, hey, Moan, the offense looked unstoppable in the preseason. Are you concerned that this young team hasn't seen any adversity yet? Trucker comes in with a $5 contribution. That's appreciated.
That is one of the things. You have to be hardened. You have to be hardened. You have to come back from games that you're down by 7 to 10 points potentially. You got to be able to drive the length of the field at the end of the first half to get either a field goal or a touchdown, preferably a touchdown. I am concerned, not worried, when it comes down to what this team is capable of when they get to those points. But I will say this, hearing some of the echoes that have come out of that locker room, those guys know and understand that. They also know and understand that, look, this won't be an easy ride for us. Like I said, I mentioned George Pickens the other day saying he doesn't want to just be known as the deep ball guy when it comes down to his skill position, right? As far as wide receiver, he wants yak. I think those are the things that have to happen. I don't worry about it as much. I'll say this. If Kenny shows he can deliver certain passes too. If he does that, I'm okay with them overcoming adversity because you know this, DK, most teams will love to just simply stop the run, right? They want to run and force the quarterback to throw the ball. If we don't have to worry about Kenny Pickett delivering the ball down the field and careless turnovers, then I think they will overcome adversity because that's what happens in these moments. Those quarterbacks get real confident in themselves.
Right.
When it comes time for you to, hey, I can deliver this ball. This is nothing. Look at this ice in my veins. That's because they're confident in their throws.
Yeah, it's very easy to convince me on that count. It is. I'm not sitting here. I'm not going to trash Brock Purdy. He came in and he had success.
Yeah.
Quarterback's number one job is to come in and have success. And no matter how you do it or with what level of fanfare. Aloha comes in and says, DK, you're in the locker room. Did Najee Harris drop weight this year? I've seen him on the Cam Hayward's podcast. He looks different now. He's not different.
He's not different.
No, Najee has understood after, I think, a little bit of soul searching, body frame searching or whatever, that he's going to be a power running back in this league. He does not need to apologize to anyone for not breaking off the 62-yarders or anything. He's going to do things in this offense that theoretically the other two can't do, at least not consistently. And that means getting you the hardest, toughest yards that are available. And look, that doesn't mean that Najee should be held to a different standard for yardage.
Yeah.
He's got to be producing consistently 6, 7, 8 yards, those kinds of, push through, get some first downs, get some unexpected first downs in longer distance situations. That really, Moan, doesn't it just, to the opponent, doesn't that just say, oh, God,
it buries them.
Day.
And I'm going to reference this in a way that an offensive lineman would. When you have a running back getting you 3, 5, 6, 4, another 2, but this is what happens. The big boys up front start to lean on you. That defense gets a little tired. They're tapping their heads trying to come out of the game. Coaches will tell you this all the time. We don't move unless y'all move up front. And they mean that. Although the quarterbacks get all the love, they absolutely mean it because, as Joshua Dobbs just said right here, no reference to the quarterback, beat down the defense. And we can pace ourselves on offense a whole lot better than the defense can because, a little educational moment, defensive players have to all run to the ball. They have to exert way more energy within a confined space than offensive players do. And in those situations, coach, we got 4 yards of pop. Keep running it. If you see offensive linemen looking at the sideline do this, run that play again. It works.
The Williams family comes at us from the uncle's table here, that's a lot of people to put at a single table.
Yes.
Do you think Jaylen Warren will win the running back number 1 spot? If not, you have to get hurt.
He's basically saying, will he win it or is Najee going to get hurt? Listen, we had this conversation before, Williams family. Appreciate you checking us out, by the way, too. There is a separate table for you. You can come in our room, grab a cup. It may have a beverage of your liking. You don't have to be a member. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to not be a member. There's subscriptions handed out all day, man. Get over here with us, man. Get away from that uncle table. But not
you're referring to accepting gifts. Okay,
yeah,
that's the table. You have to make sure that they're turned on. We have people, including today. I think Teresa came through.
Well, there's 15 given before the show started today.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
DK.
We're going to put those up here on the screen here at the first opportunity. But
to answer his question, though, DK, Najee's your number 1 running back.
Sure he is.
You got one of the best running backs in the world. There's no reason to pit one against another, okay? When it comes down to what they're capable of doing. It's okay to have 2 guys, one that can spare another, but one that may be able to close out a game. Najee is going to be your RB1 when it all boils down. DK, if it's 3rd and 1, who's potentially getting the ball more times than not, DK?
Oh, yeah, it's 22.
It's 22 all day.
Yeah.
That's your answer when it boils down.
With no foolishness either, by the way. No misdirection, nothing clever. We're just going to turn around and give him the ball.
And more times than not, y'all saw him in the 3rd game. He turned it on. So let's not play that public perception game that Najee's not your running back 1 just because Jaylen comes in and gets you those spare yards like that.
Yeah, everybody's worried about these number 1s and 2s and 3s and whatever. I understand that it does matter in terms of snap distribution and so forth, but it's way more situational, Moan, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it about the score? Isn't it about, it's like they're not saying, hang on a second, we need to give Najee some runs here because he's the number one running back. No, it's just like, we need to eat some clock here. We got a 17-point lead. What are we doing?
Yeah. And I will guarantee you this, man, considering how our history has been with the running back position, let's be honest, we've gotten them in and gotten them out, right, DK?
Mm-hmm.
We would have loved to have Lev around for maybe 2-3 more years. You never know how that would have turned out, essentially for his career and our team in general. But injuries happen, trying to find a sustainable backup. D'Angelo Williams was probably the best one that he had, right, DK?
Absolutely.
But, and all Coach Tomlin preached was what? Get Lev to the postseason. Get Lev to the postseason. I'd almost guarantee you this, too. A lot of running backs are probably looking around like, why do I have to have 25 reps a game, too, if they're not going to pay me the same? Why not spread this out?
Lev was getting like 35.
And to his credit, he wanted all of those, too.
He did. Then he was hurt in the New England game. Luke says, hey, Moan, what do you think will be the toughest challenge against the 49ers? The Niners are surely going to expose a weakness that the Steelers have, especially after that. And he puts it in quotes, flawless preseason. I totally agree. I'm not just saying this because of the $10 contribution, which is appreciated. But Luke brings up a couple of points. The only team that had an opportunity to expose the Steelers defense, or even the offense, was Buffalo. Yeah. And the Bills came here, and if we're being honest here, they played like crap.
Yeah, they did.
They committed 100 penalties. They were jittery. They had no communication, no poise, no nothing. Okay? They're not going to be that bad. So I don't feel like somebody – I'm not taking away what the Steelers did, either against the Bills or against the Buccaneers and the Falcons. I'm just saying that Luke is right.
Yes, he is. And I'm pulling up their depth chart right now, y'all.
San Francisco's?
I have it pulled up. Don't let what we did in the preseason. I'm not trying to be a killjoy or wet blanket or anything like that. But that first game of the year is going to be serious, y'all. Like, there's a guy on their team by the name of George Kittle we hadn't even mentioned once yet. That defense has to find somebody to cover him also. And of course,
who's doing that?
I mean, hopefully we have guys. Maybe it's JPJ, but he's so young.
Maybe
he's super young.
Maybe it's Desmond King. Maybe you make Desmond King's first job so easy. He doesn't even need to know the playbook. When you see that guy coming off the line, you follow him, period.
That right there may be the task, though,
Just
DK.
Saying, it's not like the head coach hasn't done that before. Who did he have assign to Gronkowski? Come on, you remember this. It was a corner. A sparingly used corner, and he had him line up against Gronkowski.
Steve Nelson.
No. And all he would do is chip him. It wasn't even his job to cover him. Somebody's going to come through with this.
Scrapping for it here.
It was not,
what year was this?
It was not Sean Davis.
2018?
Davis ended up in the full coverage. It was somebody else. Yeah, right in that range.
2018?
Yeah, somebody's gonna come up with this. All he did was go up to the line and just chip him, and then somebody else would pick him up.
I got you. What was it? Cody Sensenball?
Somebody will who?
Cody Sensenball. Was it him that year?
No, it was not.
Jeez,
no,
DK.
it was a corner.
Yeah. Not Artie, not Joe.
It was not Robert Golden.
Mike
it was
Dangerfield.
not Hilton.
Morgan
it was not Blake. It was not Mitchell. And if it was not Artie.
Morgan Burnett.
We're going to go through. No, it was somebody that really was not used very much. He came from Cleveland. Now you're going to remember it. He came in a transaction from Cleveland.
Not Brian Allen.
He was actually a player in Cleveland.
J.J. Wilcox.
Nope. It was not Brian Allen. It was not Ross Cockrell. It was definitely not Joe Hayden. I said sparingly used.
Brian Allen. I'm looking at the roster right now. Mike Hill and Cody Sensenball. Cam Sutton, J.J. Wilcox.
Now I'm really getting
Cody Sensenball.
It was Cody.
He wore 24.
It was not Cody Sensenball. It was not Dangerfield. Oh my God, we're literally naming every. There it is.
Who?
Right there. Gilbert.
Oh.
Remember that now?
Yes.
Not Marcus Gilbert.
Not Marcus.
Marcus would have a tough time keeping up.
It was him, DK. Wow. Wow.
It was Gilbert. And all he did, and he did it really well, was just go to the line and just bump him.
Chip the heck out of him.
Yeah, now I don't know that you can afford that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Because
what a
the 49ers have other weapons. But my point is that the head coach has done this in the past. He's not afraid to go gimmicky on a tight end. And by the way, everyone knocks Sean Davis for that performance. He was so good. He was all over the guy. Yeah. Every completion, but every ball that went to Gronk was perfect, and his catches were out of this world.
Yeah,
and we're all going, "Come on, Butler, put you know,
put
Justin 3 people Gilbert on him."
You sent me back with that one, DK. Wowzers, man.
Yeah, I didn't mean to get all random on.
Oh no, that
was
how
that
solid.
Is when you're having a conversation. You want to kind of complete it. Chris Davis says, "Hey, Moan, do you think there's a player on the current offensive line who's Pro Bowl level this season? If so, who is it?"
James Daniels, just because of last year.
James Daniels has got to start getting attention.
And you know what? I'm charging y'all to do that. Y'all can scream from the rafters above that he deserves to be out there, okay?
Makes a difference.
It does make a difference. He had, and I'll say this, he will probably make it more because of what he did last year, too. Everybody saw the name. I saw the Steelers push that narrative out there. I saw all of those things. Who is that guy? What the heck is that? I'm in this with y'all, man. With that being said, though, it would be him. I would definitely bet money on that. It could be him this year. And you know what? If he doesn't and they have a good year, so what?
We want to thank Ramon Foster of Hendersonville, Tennessee, for his $49.99 super sticker contribution.
I just love this show. I love this show, man.
He's standing behind the people here. Ryan Smith comes in with $10 and says, "Hey, Moan, which Steelers offensive lineman would you like to be teamed up with, regardless of time?" I'm not sure what Ryan means by teamed up with.
Any era.
But when I think of you being teamed up, I think of who's on your right shoulder and who's on your left.
Yeah.
As opposed to who's at right tackle.
You tell I'm in deep thought on this one, man.
I see that. I'm trying to buy you some time.
I know.
You had one guy on your right shoulder for 11 years.
I guess you should
very few exceptions.
You should say excluding him. You should say excluding Pounce.
Excluding Pounce out of respect. Pounce. Yeah.
That one guy, and I played with him, but I wish I'd have had more time with him too. Willie Colon. Or Marvell Smith. I heard so much stuff about Marvell Smith and how he set that culture, how big of a monster he was in that locker room and for that team. And Willie Colon, those two dudes right there. And I know a lot of people saying, well, what about Red? What about Faneca? It's just my style is, I think, more fit for those two dudes right there.
Because of the whole junkyard thing?
Yeah.
You're totally into that stuff.
I love that. I'm going to be real with you. I mean, and Willie helped force that into us. Like, I know there's a lot of guys that get a lot of credit about all the stuff.
How the hell have you not had Willie on this show yet?
He's busy like I am.
Okay.
He is. Trust me. We've talked.
That's still unacceptable to me. That would be the best Ramon Foster show ever.
It is.
And not just because everybody would fill up the comments with, you know what?
With his feet. Yeah. With his stinky feet. But Willie and I have a crazy good relationship, man. I listen to his show on the way to work some mornings. But Willie and Marvell, because of that junkyard dog mentality. Yeah, that would absolutely do it for me, DK.
I like that. Deontay comes in and says, should San Francisco be concerned about Brock Purdy's health, recovering elbow versus karate chop master TJ Watt? The 49ers right tackle has only played 69 snaps in his career. I'm going to guess that number 90 on the Steelers is aware of everything you just said and is figuratively, if not literally, licking his lips over this matchup. I don't care who you are, how talented you are. You got 69 snaps in your career, and you're lining up against TJ without help.
Yeah. That's a long day.
I don't want to hear about San Francisco's weapons if TJ's spending his whole afternoon in that backfield.
That's what I'm talking about, DK. You are spot on with me, man. Are they worried about him? Yeah, they should be. But Deontay, not our problem. This is the way this game goes. If he goes back and TJ swipes the way he does and he throws forward and that elbow goes back and forward and all those types of things that happen, guess what? Dub City for us, man. By the way, they're the only roster I've ever seen with 2 fullbacks on roster, too.
They'll be the last one, too.
They have 2 fullbacks.
They'll be the last one with H backs on the roster and I formation. S400 comes in with a $9.99 contribution, says, hey, Moan, how close is Najee's running style to that of either Derrick Henry or Le'Veon Bell?
It really is a mix of both. When you
I was
look at
going
it,
to say it's not either. Yeah.
if you think of the if you really think of the run pattern that he has, one, Najee needs reps. He does, right? He needs reps. But he's also patient at times like Le'Veon. And he can catch like Le'Veon too. Derrick Henry is not known for catching the ball out of the backfield as much. He's done it as of late. It's very similar though, 4,000. It really is, man. And again, that's why I continue to tell you, as long as he stays healthy and those guys up front move the line the way they do a whole lot, you'll be fine. Reminds you of Kareem Hunt. The early one, yeah, I can put him in that box, but he's a mix between Le'Veon and Derrick Henry, though.
I want to see him break out.
You talking about a big run or
no
1,200 yards?
I want to see what I was talking about earlier. I want to see 1,500. Okay, if you're going to be a star, it can't be in name only. You've got to come up with the production for it. You've got to be able to go out there and put your imprint on football games as a first-round running back. Okay, not that he ever made excuses, but all of the outside excuses are gone.
Yeah.
There's holes, Moan.
Yeah,
there's holes. David comes in and says, hey, Moan, where do you see any weaknesses on this Steelers squad?
It's what we talked about earlier. Experience. Simply put, experience. This team has to get some of that, and I'm hoping last year was some of the best experience they could have. Just really teetering on being good, being okay. Kenny getting a lot of it last year after he was named starter. Finding out what Mason Cole and James Daniels is also defensively. Finding somebody that when Cam and TJ go out of the games, that this defense doesn't fall off. The back end of this secondary, I actually feel a whole lot better about the defense, DK. Like, as far as the linebackers go, that's where I kind of want to lay my head. And this is another thing, too. Can Larry Ogunjobi stay healthy, too? I'm not saying he's injury prone, nowhere near that, because I don't ever remember him being this hurt other than when he initially got hurt.
I mean, it canceled his contract with the Brewers, Bears.
With the
and that's all in my mind.
From that initial one, he's kind of just had some residual from that, right, DK? For like the last couple of years. I'm hoping he can get past that, and that's my hope right there.
I think so. Here's some scab picking on Mike Schroeder's part. Hey, Moan, if Jesse James's catch wasn't botched, meaning by the refs, we would have won that Super Bowl, huh?
We had a daggone good team. How the playoffs would have played out, we don't know. But us going to New England, that was a hard life to live going up there. I'll say this too, and I hope we'll get a chance to see it live when I come up. We need to make Acrisure Stadium that toxic. We do. Like, it is. But we, as a player, sometimes we will sit back and be like, okay, y'all gonna go or we spoiled? That's my one honesty I had as a player some days. It would get going, momentum is right, but the level of being toxic the entire game when teams like the Patriots, the 49ers for a season opener.
Make them hate it.
Yeah.
Make them hate it.
Make them hate it.
I got to tell you, we haven't talked about this at all.
No.
The one preseason game that was played at Acrisure Stadium just now, the Buffalo game, was legitimately packed, which is bizarre for preseason anywhere, including Pittsburgh, because who doesn't come in for preseason games? The actual season ticket holders don't.
That's true.
Okay, the 40% that don't live anywhere near Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Okay, they give their tickets away.
Yep.
You've heard me criticize people for doing that. Okay, Well, this place was packed. Now, some of that had to do with the fact that Buffalo's 3.5 hours away. So some of the mafia came down, but not that much. It wasn't an overwhelming. This was a fan base that showed up because they are legitimately excited by what they see, because they were excited about what they saw the previous week in Tampa. And I got to tell you, for regular season, I am expecting to see something that we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh.
I see this coming up right here. I never played in Three Rivers or visited it. But was it? Explain that then, DK.
I lived there. It's different.
It was different?
I mean, Three Rivers Stadium, you got to understand, Moan, regardless of the structure and whatever else, okay?
Yeah.
When you walked into that concrete bowl, you did so fully expecting to enjoy every millisecond of those 3 hours.
Yeah.
It was like going to an Indiana Jones movie where you just knew it was going to be a good time.
Yeah.
You didn't care who the Steelers were playing, because not only were you going to beat them, but you were going to have them being carried off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was just a different vibe. Heinz Field and Acrisure Stadium has only had that in spurts.
In spurts. The AFC Championship game, rightfully so, was that way to me, where I felt like the ground was shaking.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I would ask, if you're going to this 49ers game, make it
uncomfortable. You had it.
Make it uncomfortable, but like make them play Renegade 3-4 times. You know what I'm saying, DK? Like, I want them players that actually have sticks on their freaking playlist to erase it off of it, is where I'm at with it.
That's great. It's actually right across the street from us. We can do it ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
I really like that.
Oh, man. By the way,
Anthony, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I see all the contributions coming. Thank you guys, man. Seriously, this is some cool stuff. We come in here and just play around and not play around, but have a good time with each other. You guys are super dope. I can't say that enough. I feel like I got to say it all the time.
Anthony comes in with a 1999 contribution and says, please join me in celebrating the birth of my third daughter. This is her first time tuning in. Oh, no, poor kid. Whoa. We did keep it clean today, though.
We did. Hopefully you'll get one of these from her.
Oh, no.
From them.
Handy.
In my office, DK. You doggone right, man.
You got to work for those. She's excited to listen to her first game against the 49ers. I'm calling her our Super Bowl good luck charm.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool, DK. I got this one right here because he's so dynamic. It's a must. We bring this one up, DK. If you cool with it. Jax Flex says, hey, Mon, who is most responsible for covering Debo? And that means Debo Samuels, right, DK?
Of course, yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're not sticking that on any one individual.
You can't.
He is the weapon on that team. Do not get distracted by the other terrific players that they have. He is the guy.
He's cold, y'all. Running the ball and catching the ball. He reminds me, he got juke moves like Le'Veon did with that put that foot in the ground and leave you where you stand type of things, man. AB type quickness. When AB was as quick as he was, just a hard-hitting guy. Also, he will come bang you, man. But Lord, yeah, everybody. The biggest person to get him down, or the biggest task to get him down, DK, is this. Putting Brock Purdy on his back.
I was going to say a lot of this that we're talking about today is we seem to have moved on to the subject of San Francisco's offense, which is exciting in and of itself, right? Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, 10 days, right? We can actually do this now.
Okay.
Is that you can pull the plug on everything that they're doing with a pass rush.
Yeah.
Okay, everything. Nothing else matters, because if you reduce Purdy's release time to what Ben was doing in his last year, where it's just snap and throw, it doesn't matter. And you're not going to give them a chance. You're not going to give Kittle a chance to run his route. You're not going to give Debo a chance to run his route.
I expect him to be just as rattled as they would try to have Kenny Pickett. He's the second-year guy too. Okay, let's not forget, like, I don't want to act like Brock Purdy's all world when it comes down to it either. He's still got to come in and prove it. If that right tackle's only had under 100 snaps in his entire career, that means George Kittle has to stay in and block a little bit longer. That's one less weapon out, okay?
No, I think there's a lot. We're going to be talking a lot in the coming week about the Steelers pass rush versus the 49ers pass pro, because as I was saying on this show a couple of weeks ago, sometimes it really can be that simple.
Yeah,
in terms of your analysis. Barry Snyder comes in with just a hello from Steelers Nation in Arizona.
Yep.
And I have a couple of good ones here that are starred. This is just a nice thing from Mike. In addition to the contribution, says, I just want to say thank you for being the best Steelers show out there. Always excited for the next episode. Guess what, Mike? So are we.
We are. This gets us going.
Some people just say stuff like that, and this is,
Yeah, this actually gets us going, man. I enjoy it.
This is a really, really cool thing here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Justin Work lets everybody know that he set up a GoFundMe. I told you that was going to happen.
I know it.
For Chris and Eddie, we have two members of our regular community who are struggling right now, and he wants to get them some merch. Justin's going to take care of that later on in the chat. Pay attention to the super chat right there. And Justin, if I can ask you, make sure that you also put it in the comments that go under the video after we're not live. That way I can pin it to the top. You follow me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what Ryan is saying right here. I just want to send our guy Chris from yesterday some merch. Justin's got you.
Y'all are the best, man.
Justin's going to take care of you.
Golly. Also, you saw Chris's daughter came in, Jennifer, if I'm not mistaken.
Chris's daughter, her name was Jennifer. Was that, you remember that?
Yeah, I think it was Jennifer from yesterday.
She said that Mr. Foster and DK, see, you get a Mr. and I don't.
I mean, what do you want from me, DK? Huh?
I want some, like I got to fix my bow tie here or something.
What was you expecting? I mean, what are we talking about?
And DK. No, from Jennifer, she says, I want to thank you both for how you showed my dad the love he needs at this time. I've seen some in the group that wanted to send him something. I cannot put his email address on here. Justin's going to find a way to get in touch with you. Don't worry about it.
I was going to say, or type one letter one at a time and space it out somehow. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to take care of that. Brett Caruso comes in and says, Moan, aren't you tired of the mainstream media not understanding how it works in the AFC North? Why does no one ever know who's going to win in this division? You know what? That's actually, I thought Brett was going somewhere else with this. Whoever predicts the AFC North winner correctly, whoever gets that right.
Yeah, it was crazy, DK. What's crazy is like once every 3 years, there's another division that does something similar. Like a few years ago, it was the AFC West. Now it's the AFC East. And everybody's like, who's going to win it? We have that problem every single year, man. And Brett, you're 100% correct, dog. It is one of those situations that the division is so competitive. Everybody knows each other. It's like we all grew up in the house together and everybody knows everybody's secrets. Like it's legitimately one of those moments, man, when we talk about the North, but that's why it's so special. It just is.
How many times in the many, many times that you guys won the division in your tenure and you had those shirts on, the We Run the North, whatever. Okay. And
it's a lot.
How many times were you the team that was picked at the beginning of the year? Because I think some people just like to try to get creative.
They do.
You don't get creative with the AFC North.
No.
You find out which team's got the most stones. And you can't find that out until you start playing football.
Until you start playing. It's it. I'm with you, Ron Smith. The best division in the NFL. It just is.
Certainly the toughest in the most literal sense. It's the toughest.
Ask anybody that plays those teams. It is. And I've had conversations with people say the exact same thing, DK.
Now, last one for today. I had one here. I'm going to see if I can find it here. Maurice Turner gets our last question for the day. He comes in with, hey, Moan, who gets the job to watch Chris McCaffrey? Is it a linebacker or a safety? That's not a simple task either.
Right. No, and by the way, Chris, we got to get you away from the uncle's table. Great. Maurice. Great question.
It really is. Yeah, that should not be coming from that realm. That should be that's a member level question.
Way too smart right there. You're way too smart to be at the uncle's table, man. But whose job is it to watch him? I would almost want to put everybody on him because here's the thing. You got to make sure your personnel is correct whenever you have a guy like him on the field. Because he will line up at running back, right, DK? And then he's going to motion out as a wide receiver. Now, the real question you got to ask yourself is it Quan Alexander in those sets? Do you absolutely trust Elandon Roberts? Cole Holcomb? Probably not. Do you put a safety on him too? We've talked about what set DK that they ran in the preseason.
Oh,
How
yeah.
many? 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, three, not three chefs, but three safeties. And I have a feeling that the answer is going to be some combination of the ILBs, particularly Elandon Roberts.
Yeah.
He's a heat-seeking missile, as you saw with that one incredible, my goodness, that incredible tackle pursuit that he had the other night in Atlanta. But also because Keanu Neal can do both for you.
He can. Keanu Neal, I keep forgetting him, DK, in this equation, man.
Oh, no, he might be the guy.
And that's what I'm saying. So he's a Swiss Army knife. With that being said, everybody has to make sure their weapon is sharp for a week like that. But I will say this. I've seen Coach Tomlin work in these situations, not to give him too much credit because Terrell Austin's in this too, right, DK?
Mm-hmm.
He has always been a guy that says, watch the evil genius at work. Some are our best game plans. I've seen him walk in a room with his red laser, briefing the team, telling us exactly what we're going to do, like vividly tell us, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it, and this is why we're going to win because if you guys do this right. And we go out and we do those things. Defensively.
He will Tomlin just walk in the middle of your position, just like that. Just open the door.
This is just the team meeting before everybody breaks up in front of everybody.
Okay.
He lets us know what the plan is and what they're good at, and he really chops them. It's like
so you're talking about Saturday.
I'm talking about Wednesday.
Wednesday. Oh, geez. Okay.
He chops down a tree with the way he dissects these defenses. You've asked any player that's played for him, he's not in his office most times, which is across from the running back's room. He's in the back corner office that he has. No windows, one door. I think he's got a refrigerator with water and Gatorade. And all he does is watch film and dissect and break. And not taking away credit from Terrell Austin. But defense is what he does. And these type of moments he's probably salivating on. When I tell y'all that man is a nerd about defenses.
You mean it in the best way.
I mean it in the best
way.
I've
never heard this. That's incredible.
Ask anybody about the background. He doesn't go to his office. He goes to that back corner room with no windows next to the bathroom with water and Gatorade in there and a whiteboard with a film.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. I've never heard this about him. And covered his whole career. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's been spoken about publicly. Ask him about it. Like, do you go to your back corner room? It's fascinating.
Wow, guys. Okay, another exemplary episode, it turns out, of the Ramon Foster Show has just taken place. If you want to jump in on the merchandise train, there are a lot of cabooses and cars in front of you. This stuff is moving. Okay. Go to dkps.net/Ramon shop. You don't need the HTTPS. You can just type dkps.net/Ramon shop. Keep it simple and it'll show up. Also, if you want to become a member, and we had a bunch of new ones today, including some gifts. Thank you, Teresa, on that front. dkps.net/join is the place to go. You said there was some before the show. I feel like we should sign off until we can acknowledge.
I forget who it was. Yeah,
who that was
before the show even started. I forget who it was. Man, thank you guys. It was like 15. It was a 10 and a 5 that was just distributed. I think Uncle Maurice. Now I do have an Uncle Maurice. Just got his membership too.
Maurice came in.
Yeah, Maurice got a membership, or maybe accepting one soon.
Yeah, it's like Maurice, like you just can't come along and ask a question that's that good and say, yeah, but I'm just passing through.
Yeah, see, thank you guys. Much appreciated. I think he's getting or got it.
Yeah, no, he's coming. You can't ask a question like that and then I'm just window shopping, fellas. I'll see you later.
Yeah, don't do burnouts in our car and leave us, Maurice.
All right, guys, we're going to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see you good people, man. Don't stick around. There's probably nothing here for you guys.
Nope. You said you've never seen The Jerk, the Steve Martin classic?
No, I hadn't seen that.
In the movie, Steve's character becomes a multi-billionaire because he invents this thing called the optograph. I got her laughing over here. Yeah, right.
Jolly
Remember,
chuckled.
because it is like this. Yeah, this C-shaped thing. Wait, it gets better, right? This C-shaped device on the
Yeah.
glasses, because I'm constantly taking my glasses off and putting them back on.
Yeah.
So I mentioned to the optometrist the other day, have you ever heard about the Optigrab? And the guy's like, he's talking about it because he's not, he didn't see the movie just like you didn't, right?
Yeah.
The Optigrab, turns out that in the movie, his character gets sued for like $1 zillion. Right, because the Optigrab makes everybody cross-eyed because everybody's staring at it.
Yeah. No.
That's actually the thrust of the movie.
No, I've never seen this, man.
It's fantastic.
No, James, I never seen The Jerk. No.
Oh, you're gonna have some rain down on you here. This is like when I tell people I've never seen Animal House and they go,
You hadn't?
no, I swear to God, not once. I don't know why. I don't have anything against it.
Wow. To be fair, I only saw it whenever I got to Pittsburgh. Willie Colon loved that movie. And Coach Kugler did too. That was my first time seeing it. So yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but The Jerk I've seen maybe 1,000 times.
I gotta go see this. I'm looking at Netflix.
I can recite lines from it like off the top of my head.
Well, I can recite lines from the movie Friday.
He goes, you mean I'm going to stay this color? Actually, the very first line of the movie is Steve Martin saying,
Yeah.
I was born a poor black child.
I've seen that clip
You've seen
before.
that, right?
I've seen the clip.
And he's on this patio like this from 100 years ago, Georgian, really poor, destitute family, 100%
Yeah.
African-American across the porch. And there's little Steve.
Is it?
As white as chalk. Sitting there.
Everybody's
my
saying
God.
it's a classic. I gotta go check this out there.
I was born a poor black child. And somebody tells him at some point, I think his dad at some point sits him down on his knee and he has to break the news to him. He was adopted.
Yeah.
And Steve says to him, you mean I'm going to stay this color?
Okay, that's on my radar now. The Jerk. That's on my radar now, man.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
All right, now everybody's going to start quoting lines from the movie. All right, guys, let's do it again tomorrow. Remember that it's Rapid Fire Friday.
It is.
Come up with really specific questions. Don't take them. What do you think of the Steelers? Give us like something really specific that Ramon can nail.
What the
And we'll
49ers, man. I mean,
specific on the Niners too. We're all right with that.
Yeah.
All
This
right,
is
guys.
good.
Yeah. All right. Tomorrow.
Peace.